Clara, and welcome to my channel. This is my review for Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 15, the Retreat Ready episode. Alright, so we see the couples are getting ready for the retreat, and according to Pastor Cal, the purpose of the retreat is to reignite, re-examine their marriages, and to spend time with the couples. Okay? We see the couples getting ready. We first see Haley and Jacob. Haley decides to give Jake back the bracelet, but my question was, if it was that easy to have it overnighted, why not have it done the first time he mentions the bracelet, right? They showed us that it was like 40 days ago when he first mentioned the bracelet, and we know it had been like 5 or 6 times in between there, so like why not do that then if it was so easy? But okay. Also, we noticed that Jake and Haley are driving separately. Okay. I mean, that could probably be an awkward car ride. Next, we see Brianna and Vincent getting ready. And to me, they look like a real couple that's going on a trip together. I did notice that Vincent said that he hopes there are no fights this time. I thought that was like, because you know how she can do. And I have my opinions on them. They have definitely changed this episode, but next, we see Virginia and Eric driving together, and they kind of are like going back and forth or whatever. And she's already said that he's been mad at her 5 times in that day. I'm like, what are y'all? What's going on with y'all? How perfect is it? If it is not on camera, apparently it's not off camera. This perfect thing. So, what are y'all doing? I don't know. Eric said he doesn't like when she calls him out on camera. Well, we do. I mean, I know I do. So they kind of get into it over that. Whatever. We see Jake arrives to the house first, and he starts cooking. It's about 7 or 8 eggs. He's just egg after egg. And I'm just like, ew. Like, who eats eggs like that? And that's all you eating? Just a big old plate of eggs? So anyway, Haley arrives. She's obviously annoyed that he went on ahead and made him some food without her. There was a miscommunication between the time she's going to arrive and them cooking together, all of that. Next, we see the rest of the couples coming. We see Bree and Vincent. We see Eric and Virginia come. So that's Haley's cue, right? She goes ahead and starts complaining to them about cooking alone. And I'm just like, did you really want him to cook with you, though? Because, like, you probably would have found something to complain about even then. Like, she says she thinks she's doing all the work, and I'm like, she says she's exhausted from working so hard on this relationship. It definitely gave me Karen vibes, and I was just like, you know what, I'm exhausted also, because I'm tired of seeing y'all do the same thing over and over and over again. Next, we see the couples having dinner together. Vincent said he put on weight since, you know, being in the house, quarantine, since being married. But I was like, wait, 18 pounds in 6 weeks? They must be cooking every day. And that has happened to me before. Like, when you date somebody and they cook every day, you can gain weight in a short period of time. So, it can happen. Anyway, so Virginia asks, what did everyone learn so far? Brianna says, patience and understanding. Vincent was like, dang, I'm that bad? I'm like, both of y'all are really bad. Like, you know, separately. So, I don't know. And I wrote that I called BS on Bree saying she's learning a lot about herself. But we're not saying it. She's not really verbalizing it. So I called BS. Vincent says he's trying to dig deep and become a better person. Are you trying to, like, on your own? Or is she kind of trying to force you to do things differently? I'm sorry. Can you talk? To do things differently. I was like, I'm not really buying it. Jake begins talking about what he's learned, and honestly, I wrote down, I don't know what he's talking about. He was just mumbling or rambling, and I didn't know what he was talking about. Haley cuts him off. She's rolling her eyes. She seems like she's hostile. You know, she's like, I've had personal growth. But I'm still calling like BS because you're still kind of poking at him, worrying about what he's doing and him. And, you know, like, what are you saying about yourself that you have learned and are going to change or, you know, adjust going forward? She didn't really say anything about herself. It was just about Jake. Why aren't you saying this? Da, 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 da. Like, girl, you answered your question. It's his turn. He wasn't really saying nothing, but still, like, let him talk. Jake said that this has been one long, bad first date. He said they just didn't connect. Haley, she's annoying. She said it's 95% challenging. He was like, well, 97% for me. I'm just like, bruh, there's no competition to see, like, who's had a worse experience, because y'all are both going through the same thing. Like, I don't think, like, why are we competing to see, well, who's had it worse? Anyway, she keeps taking jabs, and he's quick on his feet with the comebacks. He called her fake. She was like, I don't think that's fake. At this point, everybody at the table looks uncomfortable. Everybody. Virginia said that she's learned that you can love someone and not like them all the time. Very true. Very true. Eric said he's had to be so patient with her and he wants to be number one. We know that he's not. Alcohol's first, her friends first. I'm sorry. Alcohol first, her friends second, the dog third, maybe somebody else, then maybe Eric, you know? He's definitely not number one, for sure. Absolutely not. She said it's only been a month and a half, and I don't think the time matters. Like, so what? Like, you are married, girl. I don't get why she signed up for the show or Ryan. I'm a little confused on both of them as to why they signed up and why they were selected, why they were picked. But, okay, next scene. In the next scene, we see the couples playing a maskology game. They pick team names. We have the Lake Show, Harambe, Tigreros. I don't know. I don't remember the rules of the game. You get a point and take a point away if you don't answer or don't try to answer or whatever. I don't know. But it did seem like Haley and Jake were getting a lot of the answers right. They did have things in common. They knew each other. I thought it was a cute game. Question was asked, whose husband was told women were always right? Brianna was like, me, that was mine. And he was like, yeah, but you're not, though. You're not always right, though. I thought that was funny. She was looking like, oh, girl, yes. You're not always right. Okay, next scene. We see that Jake and Haley did win the game. We noticed, too, they slept separately. Even though I guess we would expect that, right? They do it at home, so they're going to do it on a vacation, too. Okay, next we see Brianna and Vincent laying down, and she mentioned horseback riding. He says that he does not want to do that. He's scared about being thrown off, being paralyzed. You know, he just has a fear of horses. And my question was, like, were there other activities that they could have done? I mean, first of all, she could have talked to him about the options. You know, they could have gone over the brochure together and chose activities together. Also, he gave her a list of what he wanted to do a couple of weeks ago. It was a long list. He kept going on and on. She probably could have found one of the things on that list that he gave her that day, like, to do on the retreat. I don't understand, like, why she didn't ask him about what he thought about the activity. Yeah, he said he'll try, but no promises. Okay, next scene. We see Ryan and Clara on their way to the retreat. They arrive. Clara said, this is the Nautica room. Does that mean we get to be naughty? Girl, your husband is Ryan. He was like, yeah, that's my favorite. Like, girl, that's your husband is Ryan, right? Don't forget. I can't read Ryan. I don't know if he likes her or not. It seems like he does, but then, like, he doesn't. It's really confusing to me at this point. Next, we see the girls cooking breakfast, and they're talking about their relationships. And my thoughts was, like, y'all are in the same room. Like, they can hear you, right? I don't know. But anyway, Brianna was saying that she thinks about leaving, but she can't. She says they're doing okay. Clara says people keep asking her if she's losing herself. She says they ask her that every day. And I'm just like, girl, who asking you that every day? And what are you saying to them to where they're checking on you this frequently? It seems a little odd that somebody would ask you that every day. I don't know. She said they're doing things differently and they are confused by it. Who? Oh, other people that she's talking about their pace to think that it's a little bit confusing as to what's going on. But my thing about that was she says they're confused about them not having sex within this 6 weeks, right? But she also said she had dated someone for a year and they maybe have had, 3 times in the year. So they're confused about the 6 weeks, but they weren't confused about the 3 times a year. I'm confused about that. Okay? I mean, explain, like, what's going on here? When it was Virginia's turn, she says that he said it how it should be versus learning each other, and they have complete opposite needs. She said that he needs physical touch, and that she needs him to leave her alone. She has times when she feels like, I love you, but I also want to punch you. Next, we see Haley and Jacob going crabbing. Nothing much in that scene. They are just going to get crabs for the rest of the crew for dinner or whatever. Next, we see Eric and Virginia having a beach picnic type of situation. And she says she's worried about decision day and letting someone in that's going to eventually leave her. They're kind of going back and forth about how it's going to go on decision day, like the arguments, and I don't know. They just kind of go back and forth. He said, we'll just don't do it because, she said, sorry, I can't read my notes. She said that she's in it because they're married. And he's like, well, don't just do it because we're married. Do it because you want me. Do it because you really want to be with me. They just can't really see eye to eye. He said the fight, makeup, cycle won't work in the end. And I agree with that. Both of them think they're right. And I don't see it working after decision day. I really don't at this point. Ryan and Clara go paddle boarding. And I was just like, can you guys pick a romantic date? Like something else? I didn't like it. They did kiss. They did have drinks and eat later. She is harping on, I want to hear the words, I am in love with you. She says she doesn't know if they'll move past the friendship point. And he didn't really respond. When she said it, she looked down and was looking all sad like she normally does. And he didn't say anything. They cut to the next scene. So, next scene. Brianna and Vincent go horseback riding. He was nervous. He really did not want to do it. It kind of like lasted for too long, in my opinion, the whole like back and forth. But anyway, he went on ahead and did it. Brianna got what she wanted. She got her way. And like I said, I'm pretty sure there were other dates they could have gone on that he would have enjoyed a little bit more than horseback riding. Vincent said he likes to be prepared and wants to have input. Hello? Input. On what they're gonna do. Like, you could have asked him about it. If you already knew he didn't like that, why try to push somebody who's gonna be uncomfortable? I don't really get that. Like, you're still trying to figure him out. Why you try to keep pushing him and making him uncomfortable? I don't know. She said, let's have a conversation first. Oh no, he said that. She said she wants somebody who's gonna go on adventures with her, and he's stuck in his ways. And she said she don't want to deal with that the rest of her life. I wrote, girl, shut up. In my notes, it said, girl, shut up. Because he has to deal with you and your bossiness. You are stuck in your ways because you don't know what compromise is. And because I think on one of the like confessional video things, whatever, she was like, you have to compromise in relationships. Talking about him compromising to kind of do what you want him to do, right? But you have not compromised once on what he may want to do. So, I don't know. I did write girl shut up though. In the next scene, we see Haley and Jacob. They have been given the assignment to write letters to themselves, to each other, and say some nice things. It was cute. He said she's genuine, loyal, hardworking, whatever. Or whoever said it. He said she has drive, energy, motivation, blah, blah, blah. They have a decent conversation. And I noticed that she said she said as far away from him as she could. You could have sat on the same couch as him. Like, girl, why are you like repulsed by him? I don't understand. Does he smell? Like, what are you not telling us? Why are you so repulsed by Jacob? Next, we see Ryan and Clara doing a love letter. Ryan's letter to Clara was like, thank you for challenging me. Thank you for blah, 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 is what I wrote. Thank you for the future. I want to be your safe space, physically, emotional, and spiritually. Sorry. He says, love, Ryan. I was like, ooh, Clara, that was your word, girl. He said love. She's over there getting emotional. And I'm just like, why? I don't know. Her note to him was talking about, you know, her past hurt and pain has prepared her to be with him. He was kind, generous, all those things. She says she feels safe. She's looking forward to the future and saying yes on decision day. So she already told him what she's going to say. And he was like, oh, thanks for sharing that with me. I'm glad you feel that way. Sure. They did kiss during that part too. So I still cannot read Ryan. I can't read him. Next, we see all the girls coming together to talk about their dates. Haley says she enjoyed crabbing, but they cut to an argument that Haley and Jake had during the day, before the letter writing part of the day, I want to say, after crabbing. He said she was smug, dismissive, and nasty. I was like, oh. He been saying what we've been saying, but he's with her more, so that sound about right to me. Virginia and Bree said y'all both take jabs at each other, and it does seem a little bit combative. It did with that first argument when they had the dinner. It was just like they both were trying to cut each other down. Like, you go here, I'm gonna go lower. You go here, I'm gonna go lower. But anyway, they kept trying. Then they're gonna try to reset again. I put reset. I don't even reset my TV this much, like, or the remote, or like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even restart my computer this much, like, but anyway, yes, another reset. During this conversation, Virginia says that is having a rough patch and they're having issues. She said if they can make it past the 2 months, they can do anything. I wrote, yeah, right. Y'all barely making it past the 2 months. Y'all can barely go 2 days without an argument. It's not gonna work. I don't see it working. Brianna said, to me, it seems like she's judging him and said, don't complain, look at the positive. Brianna, I ain't here for it. It seemed like she's judging him, like he's not into, you know, it's like she's uppity. I like her. I did. I don't know. Anyway, Clara says she needs to be told that he's attracted to her. And I think that he could be trying to still figure it out. I don't know. Brianna asked her, you think you're in love? She says, yeah. Her reason was like, he treats her better than other guys have in the past, and that's why. And I kind of feel sad for Clara because, I don't know, like, you shouldn't have to change yourself so much. I mean, in the beginning, at the casting special, I did not think I was going to like her. I thought she was going to be the outspoken, loud, in everybody's business, you know, girl. And now she's kind of soft-spoken. She kind of sits back. She doesn't really say as much. Well, she does in the episode, but like, you know, when it comes to her and Brian, she doesn't. So, I don't know. All right, next scene. Next, we see everybody in the kitchen, laughing, joking, trying to get the crabs into the water. I really enjoyed that scene, just everybody laughing, joking. It was a nice time being had by all. Okay? All right, so they go ahead and get ready for dinner. Go ahead and have a seat. And Ryan asked the question. He says, have you guys talked about life after decision day? Okay, so Vincent says that Brianna is going to be moving into his place because he likes his apartment. And the look on her face is just like, no, I'm not. She said that she doesn't know how it's going to be going from being in a 2-bedroom, I'm assuming, to moving into a 1-bedroom. And I hope they figure it out, because I think when she said made her comment, Vincent looked like, you know, like, why are you saying this right now? Like, don't try to embarrass me, is what it looked like to me. I could be wrong. I don't know. We see Brianna talking about how it's a big change going from being single to now being married. And I'm just like, well, what did you think it was going to be like? Like, they should have all asked themselves this question, because they all signed up for this show and they act like it's a surprise that they're with somebody. Like, yeah, girl, you signed up to marry somebody at first sight. So, I was about to say blind date, but you signed up for this. Like, I'm sure you have watched the seasons, right? Like, you kind of know how it's going to be, right? But, okay, next scene, or next conversation. We see Ryan and Clara talking about them moving in together and how there are some things that, you know, he wants to keep, she wants to go, and vice versa. And as I am watching them sit by each other, I don't think they're a match. I don't see it. I wrote down it. I thought Jake was funny. He made a little joke about the poster that Ryan wanted to keep and like having it in their bedroom and how it could be a little bit creepy. I noticed that. I thought he was funny in that scene. Virginia talks about how she's going to be living at her place for a while because he's going to be going out of town and, you know, whatever. And Clara's like, yeah, that's fair. Clara. They talk about looking for a place, and he's like, well, is that just on me? And they're like, no, it's just a back and forth about them just not agreeing about where to stay. She's saying it's not pet friendly to be at his home and things like that. And I don't know. I just don't. They're not going to bend. Okay? They're not going to bend to where it's going to fit, in my opinion. You know, I don't see it working. Basically, Virginia was talking about he has 4 months, or they have 4 months to try to find a place because her lease is going to be up soon. But then Eric says, I'm not the one to give ultimatums. So I just want to know, like, what do he think is called every time he say, well, you can leave, or if you don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm done. What are those called then? If that's not an ultimatum, maybe I don't know what the definition is. So I'm just curious, like, what's the definition to you, Eric? Okay, they're still talking about the living situation and how Virginia has her cats or dogs or pets or whatever, and, you know, his place is not pet friendly. What I did not like was Clara butting in, asking, well, what concessions are you willing to make if she's moving in with you? Clara, like Ryan told you earlier, you talking too much. Girl, you better worry about him. Virginia can handle her own. Okay, we have all seen that. Let her talk for herself. She don't need to talk for her right now. And Ryan looking at you, he probably kicking her up on the table like, girl, hush. Next, we see Virginia and Eric in the bed. And as I was watching this scene, I felt my face frowning up because I was just like, is she serious? So apparently Virginia's cat sleeps like in between her chest. She said her crevices. And I think her other animal sleeps in the bed as well. But Eric is allergic to cats. So there's like no compromise. She said she won't lock them out. She won't stop them from being in the bed with them. And that he can just take allergy medicine every night. And I'm just like, is this a real thing people do? When Eric said, I'm over this, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, me too. Next, we see Eric and Virginia in the bed. I didn't get anything out of the conversation besides they're just still talking about how things can be better without actually making things better, basically. Then we see Brianna and Vincent, and they talk a little bit, and he mentions about how they have to get back to the city and get her all moved in. And she was like, how you know I'm moving in with you? Like, I feel like they would have talked about that, but yeah, I'm definitely kind of changing my opinion of Brianna. She was like, you're too sure of yourself. And then in her like confessional thing, she was like, he's not gonna run over me. That's a no-no. I don't think that's him trying to run over you. I mean, it's definitely worth a conversation, but I don't think that's him trying to walk over you by saying that he wants you to move in with him. Why not talk about it? Which I was assuming that they had already done and had agreed on that, but apparently not. Like, why not talk about it? I don't know. She said, I'm on the same level as you. What level is that? Like, I don't know. Something about her in this confessional I didn't really like. Not much in the next couple of scenes. Haley goes to look for Jacob. He's gone. She said she thought they were on a better page. Girl, how? But anyway, okay, next we see Ryan and Clara laying in the bed. And she said that all the heartbreak that she went through in the past was worth it to get her to where she is now. Which is where exactly? Because from where I'm looking, it's gonna really land you back with more heartache. Because I don't know, something is off to me, but it's gonna land you right back where you've been. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Those previews for next episode seem interesting. So I guess they maybe have one more and then decision day. I don't think any of the couples are going to make it. At first, I was all team Brianna and Vincent. No, I'm not team nobody on the show, if I'm being honest. Like, no. But anyway, you guys, that was the end of the episode. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one.